Welcome to Shooting Straight with Brad and Casey. I'm Brad Carline, your Navajo County attorney, and my partner is?
Casey Clark, Navajo County Sheriff for the next few weeks.
And that's what we're going to be here about today, is Casey has decided to retire. So we want to talk to Casey about his law enforcement career and being a sheriff. And the other person with us today is Sheriff in Waiting, David Klaus, who will take Casey's place when Casey finally pulls the trigger. So Casey, what is it like to see retirement in sight? How are you feeling about that?
You know, it's really a wide range of emotions. Over the last few months, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and stare at the ceiling and terrified that what have I done? And then other nights wake up going, man, I just wish February 12th was here. This morning, you know, I'm sitting around and I was drinking coffee, and last week I was terrified. And then this morning I'm like, man, I wish I was retired. I wouldn't have to go to work today. So it's a really wide range of emotions. I leave no regrets on the table. I know that I'm leaving the sheriff's office in fantastic hands with David. You know, a lot of people, I don't know if they know the story or not, but Glenn Flake is the sheriff that hired me in 1987 as a reserve deputy and gave me the opportunity. And Glenn Flake is David's grandfather. And so I'm getting to give the badge back to the same family that gave me the opportunity. So I'm excited about doing that. I mean, that's, you know, that's, I don't paying it forward or whatever, but I know I'm leaving it in capable hands, and I believe that we have done a great job. I feel that we left the sheriff's office better than I found it, and I know that when David leaves, he'll leave it better than he found it. So
you started your law enforcement career in '87, so it's been almost 32 years, 10 as the sheriff. What is your most memorable moment as the sheriff?
Wow, I don't know. You know, I have been telling people for the last 10 years that that I'm a cop. I don't identify myself as sheriff. And maybe I didn't in the beginning, but I had to beat the cop out of me to be sheriff.
Why do you say that? Well,
Because
what's the difference between a cop and a sheriff?
A cop is out there, you're arresting people, you're doing stuff, you're working in the community and so forth. The sheriff is at a 30,000 foot level, making your decisions are so much different. I used to sit there and I'd be so mad at administration as a cop, as a sergeant, lieutenant, and so forth, because I'd say, I can make that decision like that, because you do as a cop. When you're out on the road and you're making decisions literally at the snap of a finger, life and death decisions, literally. Whereas the sheriff, the decisions, you don't need to make quick decisions. You need to sit there and think about these decisions over days, weeks, months, because your decisions affect so many other lives. Same as a police officer of life and death, but in a different way. So you really have to slow down and it's at a 30,000 foot level, Brad.
So how were you able to make that transition? Did it come at once? Did it evolve? Or was there something that really drove home the difference?
Well, there was, within the first year, there was an incident in a interview room. I'm not going to mention the name and stuff like that, where somebody ended up overdosing, and I kind of got in the middle of it, and I'm like, I got it. I need to stay out of this stuff. And there's been many a time when I know that people are going to go do a search warrant, or they're going to, you know, especially MCAT, it was so near and dear to my heart. They were going to go out and make a buy, and it was on somebody that, and I'm like, I need to stay out of that. And so it was just constantly telling myself that it's a different picture I need to look at. And in order to be successful, you got to do that. You just, you know, I call it maturing in law enforcement. You know, you mature after X amount of years. You mature, and you're not a deputy anymore. You're a sergeant, or you mature then. Just because you promote one day on a Tuesday from deputy to sergeant does not mean you're a sergeant. 6 months, a year later, you become that sergeant. Same thing with lieutenant, same thing with sheriff. January 1, 2009, I had the title sheriff, but it was a lot of mistakes to become the sheriff that I am today, good or bad.
In your nearly 32-year law enforcement career, what stands out in your mind, memorable event or events?
Unfortunately, the loss of life of two dear people that I knew, and others, other highway patrol people up here, but Bob Varner, of course, never forgot that. I took his spot. So I was reserve, and the position when I was hired full-time by Sheriff Butler was Bob Varner's spot. That's never been lost on me. This year, my last election, was marred by the loss of Darren Reed, that I had known my whole career, really. So those of, there's been some highway patrolmen up here that have been killed in accidents that I knew and stuff like that. So those have left a mark. They've left a mark. The relationships that when we were this weekend, I was talking to Brenda, and as I was going through Twitter, I saw something from Tom O'Halloran, Representative O'Halloran, and so I sat there and started reading it, and he's like, last week, and I started playing it, and he was on the House floor last week, honoring me on the House floor in the House of Representatives. It's on video. And I was sitting there watching that going, my God, who would have thought 32 years ago that Casey Clark's name was going to be honored on the floor of the House of Representatives?
What about 10 years ago?
Yeah, 10 years ago. But so what's memorable to me is the amount of friends that I have made, whether House of Representatives, senators, or just local folks. I have I've had a blessed career, charmed career, and a lot of people have said, well, how come you're not going to have this retirement party and so forth? That's just not me. I tell people, I'm a humble guy, and they all I am, man. I'm a humble, simple person. But you can't really show that humble in that position. But I don't want to be around when people are talking. It's hard enough to leave anyway. But I also don't want the people that are responsible for me being where I'm at today to think that I'm not grateful. I have so many people to thank for where I am today, and from you, Brad, to you, but to my deputies, to my family, to God. I have so many people, and I'm very grateful to each and every one of them that I'm here today and that I'm leaving. And so I don't want people to think I'm not grateful, and I don't want them at some kind of big retirement party. But what are you going to do? I'm thinking about becoming an Elvis impersonator.
In the 10 years as a sheriff, what do you think your biggest change or accomplishment is that you were able to achieve for your office?
I think that we have strict accountability today. And I think that's by having strict accountability, we've improved services, whether at the jail, patrol level, detective level, civil. We have do accountability, that we hold our employees accountable, and the employees are accountable, and they do a great job. They do a great job for the citizens. Every single staff meeting we have, I have a stack of letters, Brad, that come in from citizens from across the United States that are stopped on a speeding or something, or just local. And we read those, and it's thanking the sheriff's office or a certain employee for what they do. So I think that accountability, strict accountability, accountability to themselves, accountability to the citizens, accountability to the sheriff's office. I think that's our biggest accomplishment.
I know during your 10 years as sheriff, the office has faced a number of challenges. What do you think David's biggest challenge is going to be as you pass the baton to him?
Well, you know, we all know that 419 didn't pass, and we talked about some of the things that could happen without that funding. You know, I thought I had it hard. You had it hard, Brad. We came into office in 2009. The Great Recession had just started, and we have fought for 10 years. That's not going to be anything compared to what David's going to have with the loss of revenue that they're talking about to this county. To keep the level of service that the citizens expect and want and deserve from his office or your office or the other offices. So I think that's going to be a big thing. But I believe, again, David's got the intelligence and the smarts to get through that. You know, what you talk about, real quick, you talk about one of the accomplishments, and this was you and I, you know, at the Arizona HIDTA, high intensity drug trafficking area. I got 2 weeks ago, I got a email from the executive director, Dawn, that Navajo County Sheriff's Office, the only law enforcement in the state, along with some other medical, we're getting an award in Washington, D.C. on the 6th and being recognized at the national level for our role in the opioid crisis here in Arizona. I'm dang proud of that. Not only are we being recognized for that at the national level, no other law enforcement in Arizona, that's Navajo County Sheriff's Office, but we've been invited to a reception at the White House. This is a big deal. So
you're going to be retired and not be able to make it?
No. So the great thing is that the Dawn called me and she goes, you know, we'd love to have you go. You know, I've pretty well quit traveling. I've traveled so much in my career. And so we leave on, I think the second or third,
yeah.
and we'll be gone through, we come home on the 8th. So we're going to the National Narcotic Officers Conference, then the HIDTA conference, and we go to the reception at the White House to receive the award. So we'll come home on the 8th, and then Saturday is the 9th, 10th, Monday's the 11th. I'll probably sleep in. I'll show up at the board on the 12th, and David will be the sheriff, and I'll go start practicing my Elvis impersonation. So, but anyway, that's something that I'm very proud of. Is we've really made a dent in not only in Navajo County on drug crimes, but we've also been very, I think, proactive and realizing that we just can't arrest our way out of the situation, and that we've been good on the opioid crisis and you know, whether it's drug court or veterans court, we've realized we've got to change what we're doing, and we've done that. So so that's part of the change. When you say, well, what's the difference between a cop and a sheriff? You know, I did the right thing. I waged war as a cop. That's what I did. As a sheriff, you got to think a little bigger. Well, incarceration is very expensive. We can't arrest our way out of this problem. So anyway, I'm sure I'm by no means, as you know, a bleeding heart, but we've done the right thing, and we're being recognized for it. So, and I didn't do it. I mean, it was people like Scott Peterson and our MCAT people that
But
did
you
that.
got the HIDTA. There have been no county in the United States for the prior 15 years that had received HIDTA designation, but yourself, me, and then Supervisor Nez, now Navajo Nation President Nez, went back a few times and was able to get that change. And I think some of our other counties up north that we try to bring along with us are upset they didn't join us.
Right.
Because they're fighting to get in now.
You know, the other thing, we were able to expand the jail, and we did that during the worst economic times the county has seen, and we did that really with.
You actually save money by doing it.
We did. We saved money by doing it. We were able to continue without layoffs because we built the jail. I mean, it's a long process that we don't have time to go into here, but we were able to do that. We've had just success after success. As I was cleaning out my office last week, I was going through different letters and thank yous, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. And forgot about that. Then I was trying to decide what am I going to do with all. I threw all that away. It means nothing to anybody but me. And so my father-in-law passed away about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and my mother-in-law now is cleaning out his stuff. He's got all kinds of bowling trophies and stuff like that, and it meant nothing to anybody but him. Well, now she's having to sit there and go, oh my goodness, what do I do? And throwing it away. So, I don't want to get morbid here, and I'm hoping I live for a long time. But the bottom line is
Your stress level should be going down to help your longevity.
so I'm taking pictures of all these plaques and honors that I've gotten, and then I'm going to throw them away because they're going to go in a box, and then not if, but when I pass on this, somebody's going to go, oh, that's Dad's stuff. We don't want to throw it away, but they'll have pictures of it. You know, the Bob Varner Award. I mean, my God, I'm so honored to have that. Does that mean anything to anybody else? Probably not. But there'll be pictures of it, and then I look at a book that David's mother, who is Glenn's daughter, did for her father, Glenn Flake, and they did a really nice his time as sheriff, different events and stuff like that, and so. And now employees can go through there and go, oh yeah, this is what Sheriff Flake did.
So is that the sheriff's office?
Yeah. And we've started putting that together for all the sheriffs, starting from Commodore Perry forward. And some of that stuff will be in there for me. And if David will allow it, I mean, he might go, oh.
They want to erase your memory, but
Yeah.
what type of things would you like to have memorialized in a book like that? What are things that you would be telling David, I really want you to put that in there?
Well, I think the Bob Varner Award, I mean, that was, that's huge to me. The HIDA, I think the building of the jail, the award we're getting now, the award for going to the White House. Things like promotions of different, with me, pictures of me promoting different people at the sheriff's office that are now, top leaders within the sheriff's office. Stuff like that. The video of Tom recognizing me. I mean, that kind of choked me up. But I think, I'd like to have that video, and I don't know how you put that in the book, but I don't know. I mean, stuff like that, I'm just honored.
They're going to have a little kiosk next, and everything's going to be
Right.
electronic.
There's a picture that Randy said, I was Sheriff of the Year twice through WETIP, but the Sheriff's Office has been named Sheriff's Office of the Year. We've had some deputies and stuff like that were, but there was a picture of me that I didn't know existed that Randy took, but I'm in California and I'm in the motel. It was after the ceremony, obviously, and I'm laying on the bed, fully clothed, and I'm holding up the plaque, Sheriff of the Year, and I got a glass and it got some not clear, brown liquid, and I'm holding up a bottle of green stuff, and I got this grin on my face, and people that know me know that I joke, and and other people know me don't have a clue who really I am. but I think that shows another Casey. That picture I think should be in there because they're going to go. The guy did have a sense of humor. He wasn't. I remember I came in one day several years back, and I had on a T-shirt. I wasn't working that day. I had to come in and get something. I had a T-shirt and Levi's on and some boots or something. And somebody said, "My God, he is human." Well, yeah. But the people that know me know that. But there's a different Brad than there is a Brad, the county attorney. There's a different Casey. Whether it's Dad or whether it's me drinking Jameson.
You're going to miss campaigning?
I actually will enjoy it because it's not for me. As you know, Brad, campaigning and so forth, you need money and so forth. And as you've seen, we have done a ton of fundraisers, and I'm good at fundraisers. We've brought in a ton of money to different organizations across this mountain that have changed people's lives. That's another thing I'm very proud of, that I've been in this position that we could do that. But to ask for people to vote for Casey or to give money to Casey, that's just not within me. I just have a hard time doing that. But I won't mind doing that for you, David, or for you, Brad, or for somebody else. I don't mind doing that. So campaigning is kind of fun. But at the end of the day, in November, I don't have to worry about my job. You do. You do. So it'd be less stressful. But, I've made a ton of friends campaigning across Navajo County, from Sibique to Shanto Kayenta. Just made a ton of friends. And I've thought a lot about that, going, well, these people have been very good to me, whether it's here in Show Low or Heber, and these friends, is that, I still would like to see them occasionally. They've been good to me. So campaigning, yeah. It'd be a different, it'd be different knowing that it's not my blood on the line.
For somebody who might be interested in starting a law enforcement career, after 32 years of experience from being a reserve officer to the very top as a sheriff, what kind of advice or guidance would you give to somebody thinking of making that a career?
Law enforcement is changing so much. Get a good education. Law enforcement is not the big, dumb, flat-shoed cop anymore. I mean, you need to be intelligent. You need to be able to write a good report. You need to know literature, English, and so forth. You need to know math. You need to know that stuff. You need to always remember that this is bigger than you are. It's much bigger than any one of us. Then I think you have to look at, what's my quality of life? My quality of life, do I want to be a deputy in Navajo County for the next, retirement now is 25 years. Do I want to be that deputy? And, because there's a big difference in being a deputy than a PD officer, big difference. Or do I want to go to a PD and maybe make a little more money in a smaller area and backup is a little closer? I think you just have to look at do you want to go to work for Phoenix PD? Make a ton of money, a lot of money. People go, well, that's because, they're more at danger. And we're all at danger at the same level. It's just, it's a tough business. But do you want to live down in the valley to do that? You want to live in New York City? Do you want to be a federal agent? I think you need to look at all those. Again, no regrets. I think, did I make the most money at Navajo County? I mean, I'm trying to think when I first hired on full-time in April of '89, I think think it was somewhere $19,000 or something.
It's really not that much more now.
Right. You know, if I could have done more to get the deputies more raises, I would have liked to have done that. But we still got some. We got some pretty good raises for the sheriff's office over the last 10 years. There was years that, what, about 7 years ago, David, where we got some 7 and 10 and 15% increases for people. Significant increases. Was it enough? No.
But it made us more competitive with
did.
the other agencies in the county.
So, wish we could have done more if the county doesn't have the money. I mean, we're not like the federal government where we can just print money. So,
We're running out of time. I'm going to ask you one last question. What advice are you going to give David as you pass on the baton to him? What have you learned that you think would be useful for him to know?
have fun, laugh, and be safe. But I think that you have to be able to laugh every day. You have to have fun every day. And it's been stressful. There have been days where it's like, how the hell can I laugh? But laugh, have fun, be safe, and take care of your family.
Well, Casey, it's been a pleasure to work and know you and serve with you these last 10 years. I'm going to miss you.
Every day or some days?
There's days I cursed you out, too. But you have given everything you had to the citizens of this county. I know I'm appreciative of what you've given. And thank you for being my friend. Thank you for co-hosting this show. And thank you for joining us this month for Shooting Straight with Brad and Casey. Please stay tuned for this month's Most Wanted.
The Navajo County Sheriff's Office is seeking Bobby Gene Cox III, a white male, 42 years of age. Bobby is wanted for questioning in an investigation regarding alleged child molestation. Bobby was last seen in the Heber-Overgaard area on January 4th, 2019 at his residence, but has also been seen all over Navajo County. Bobby is known to carry weapons. He is a competition shooter and is described as being very good. Bobby has been heard saying to his family, "I am not going to prison." He is possibly driving a 2012 Suzuki motorcycle, black in color, with Arizona plates PMC7 2G. If you see him, do not attempt to attain him yourself and call Navajo County Sheriff's Office at 928-524-4050 or your local agency or 911. You can also leave anonymous tips through WeTip at WeTip.com or 18878-CRIME.